afterwards, so you can send it on to whoever wants it, along with worksheets and videos that will help you get a little bit of a better understanding on anything that we do talk about. So I was going to say beforehand, there's no need to take notes because you're going to get everything, but I think it's good to actually take a note of, if you are taking notes, take note, because it's there's a lot of information here, and no matter how interested you are in a certain subject, we can only take in so much information. Like so for example, there's a little game you can actually play, and it's something that I've been learning through my NLP journey. So if you're driving along the road, say with your partner or your friend, give them 10 seconds to count how many red cars they can see. So count down the 10 seconds. Once the 10 seconds is over, ask them to give you the number of blue cars they've seen. And they won't be able to answer you because they were focusing on the red cars. And that's how your brain works. You take in so much information. I think we take in over 4 million pieces of information each second through each of our senses. So obviously, if 4 million pieces of information come in, our hard drive will blow up. So we have an internal filter that only takes in really what we're looking for. It's like if you have a vision board, for example, if you had, say, a nice car on it, you'd start seeing that car more often than you would previously, because you're focused on it's where your mind goes, energy flows. So if that makes kind of sense, whatever you're taking, take a little bit of note of it, because you're not going to be taking in everything. So the biggest thing I would say, try and get 1 or 2 pieces of information from this that'll benefit you and that you can implement then in your own life moving forward. So today we're going to be looking at belief systems. And let me just move this tab at the top. So we're going to be looking at the terminology, the definitions, the 2 different types of beliefs, how they affect us, and what we have beliefs about, how to spot a limiting belief, how to challenge and break down the cycles. 2 different techniques that we're going to look at today. I actually want to share a 3rd technique, which is quite interesting as well. And then we're going to go through the Dickens process. So I do understand that the presentation could be a little jam-packed with information, but again, you're going to have it to reflect on, and it's better looking at it than looking for it. Okay, so this is just a quote from Tony Robbins. The reason I put in this quote from Tony Robbins is that I actually done a Tony Robbins seminar last weekend or 2 weekends ago, a week, Unleash the Power Within. So beliefs have the power to create and the power to destroy. Excuse the spelling mistake there. Human beings have an awesome ability to take any experience of their lives and create a meaning that disempowers them, or one that can literally save your life. And this will make a lot more sense at the end of the presentation. So you've heard of things like removing barriers, break down limiting beliefs, build empowering beliefs. This is the terminology used when referring to people's beliefs. And our aim today is to remove internal limitations that we have inside ourselves, because every single one of us has some kind of limiting beliefs, and several of them, loads and loads of limiting beliefs. And these are ones that we have subconsciously imposed on ourselves and facilitated the process of constructing more beneficial assumptions that will allow us to move more freely towards our desired outcome. So the definition of beliefs, an acceptance that something exists or is true, especially one without proof. An example of this is, I'm sure you know someone who believes in aliens. You know, you don't exactly have that proof that aliens exist. So people do believe in aliens. Something one accepts as true or real is a firmly held opinion. So like, we're prepared to fight for our beliefs, You know, that could be in wars, that could be football teams, that could be companies that they have a certain amount of beliefs that they're prepared to fight for. But there's another side to the coin. There's always an opponent that has a opposite belief. So their opinions at the end of the day. So if you look at beliefs, especially the limiting beliefs, as opinions, views, viewpoints, point of views, perspectives, judgment, or just thoughts, they're more easily to shift. And if we reflect back on our previous session on changing perspective, this will be a big benefit to help you shift limiting beliefs. So no matter how strong someone's beliefs are, they're just very strongly held opinions, and opinions can be changed. Therefore, beliefs can be changed. You know, there was one stage that, let me think, Carlos Tevez, he was playing up front for Man United with Cristiano Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney. He believed that his heart was in Man United. They were the best team in the world. But then after a couple of years, he moved across to Man City, their biggest rivals, and then believed that they were the same thing. His belief changed. It wasn't his belief, it was his opinion changed. So on each side of the coin, someone has a strongly held opinion, which is a belief, but your opinion can be changed. So if you can change your opinion on something, you can change your belief on something. And that's what we're going to aim to do today, is to change a limiting belief that you have deep down inside you. So beliefs help us tap the richest resources deep within us, creating direction, like these resources in the support of our desired outcomes. So a belief is a feeling of certainty about what something means. So these are 3 beliefs for lasting success. These are kind of affirmations that you could write down in the mornings. Let me just change my view here. So I must change now. I must change it now. I can change it now. And this will be related into the limiting beliefs and the examples that we're going to share throughout this. And remember, the past is not equal to the future unless you live there, because most of our limiting beliefs come from the past. So 2 types of beliefs are limiting beliefs, a belief that limits us to be who we want to be, do what we want to do, or have what we want to have. And an empowering belief is a belief that empowers us to move closer to the things that we want. So just going back on this one here. So a limiting belief, more often than not, even, for example, our parents, teachers that we had, coaches that we had, people who influenced us, people who looked up to us, friends that we had, more often than not, all of our limiting beliefs come from those people. You know, if you've seen a child in a playground climbing to the top end of a jungle gym or whatever it is, you'll often hear a parent, don't climb any higher, you'll hurt yourself. Don't go up there, you'll hurt yourself. That's installing a limiting belief in a child. Yes, there's good intention coming from the parent that they don't want the child to fall and hurt, but that child is placing a foundation of a limiting belief. Okay, I can't go up there because I'm going to hurt myself, even though that child might have seen another child climb up there. So as the years progress, just maybe put it into a work scenario. Okay, I can't get that promotion. Even though I've seen that guy get the promotion, I can't put myself in the running for that promotion because I'm going to hurt myself. And like, that's the kind of limiting belief that stems from, don't go up there because you'll hurt yourself, you'll fall, you'll hurt yourself. They come more often than not from a good place, but it is from the people who molded us that we get our limiting beliefs from. So moving forward. So let's imagine you've been working on your personal development, okay? And you've analyzed your situation. Like, a lot of this is irrelevant if you weren't going through certain processes and through certain steps, but just let's imagine it for a minute, so that you've identified maybe problems to eliminate from your routine, from your life, and found solutions to work towards achieving your goals. Okay, you're starting to build momentum, and you've explored a deep understanding of why, the reason why you're getting up in the morning, the reason why people need you, the reason why you're alive. So that's the reason why change is important to you. And like we've already looked at, you've also shifted your perspective and by reframing your problems. And if you're still struggling to make progress, it's because of a limiting belief that's deep inside you and holding you back. Okay, so what do we have limiting beliefs about? We have limiting beliefs about our identity. I'm not good enough, our abilities, our potential. I can't do that. Other people, they'll judge me. They'll say something about me doing something different. Our behavior, our future. I'll never have money. I'll never lose weight. The world around us, the universe. These are things that we have limiting beliefs around. And I'm sure each one of us can agree that we have limiting beliefs around at least one of those sections. So limiting beliefs, how it affects us is they can cause feelings of low self-worth, low self-love, and disempowering emotions, or they can be manifested as fears, such as fear of flying, fear of heights, horse riding, water, crowds, and the list goes on. So limiting beliefs, fears, and emotions may later manifest in the body as a physical health issue. Recently, I've been working with a couple of people. There was one person in particular, he had a fear of flying. When we went through a couple of the techniques and the resources that you'll have access to after this, it wasn't about the fear of flying, and it wasn't necessarily about the fear of the plane crashing. It was, okay, if the plane went down, I can't reach my potential. His fear was not being able to reach his potential with sort of a couple of goals. His fear was not being there for people that he loves. So I'll go into and explain a kind of different types of fear because, well, fear, it's a different topic altogether. So, but you need to remove limiting beliefs before you can even tackle fears. So it's a completely different topic. But just to quickly summarize it, fear is a good thing. Fear is there to protect us. Fear has been there since day naught, when the cavemen actually had to be feared of a big gorilla or a dinosaur or something coming at them. They had to know, okay, I need to fight, flight, or freeze here. That's why fear was built. But in 2022, there's no gorillas coming at us each day. There's no dinosaurs coming at us each day. So that ancient part of our brain, the amygdala, where the fear comes from, that's perceiving fear and stuff that's fear's only an illusion. Stuff like, oh, I'm scared to post something on Instagram. I'm scared to talk in front of a group of people. It's coming from the same place where cavemen actually had to be feared for their life. But me posting something on Instagram is not going to put my life in danger. Me speaking in front of people is not going to put my life in danger. So fear these days is more often than not only an illusion. Except one guy said to me, oh yeah, but what if I stand at the edge of a building? How do I break that fear? My thing is there. That's why fear is built. Fear is there to tell you to step away from the side of the building because you can actually really hurt yourself there. So fear is a different topic altogether, but just keeping in mind that you need to break limiting beliefs in order to break down fears that you have as well. They go hand in hand. And then after that, you can start working on confidence. So there's kind of like a run up towards building confidence, if you get me. So how limiting beliefs can affect us: fear, like we just mentioned, self-sabotage, bad emotion reactions, whether in work, with a partner, friends, family, negative thinking, overthinking, thinking towards things that are not going to happen in the future, but you seem to make it reality now. procrastination, and not taking action towards your goals, and just loads more useless stuff that just a simple limiting belief is stopping you. So how to spot a limiting belief? In order to remove a limiting belief, we first have to bring our attention to it. And I don't want to keep going in too much about the fear, but it's the same with a fear. Most of us have a thing called our shadow self. Like, we have limiting beliefs, we have fears that's always with us in our shadow. And unless we shine a spotlight on it and bring it to our attention, we know they're there, but we don't exactly know what they look like, how they really feel, how we can really tackle them. So it's only when you put it on the table, like, for example, going back to the fear, if you want to tackle your fear, speak about your fear, draw out your fear, make a picture of it, journal about it, then you actually see the reality of what that fear is. So first, with the limiting belief, you need to bring your attention to it. Because as the problem can be that you're not aware it's a limiting belief, because you see it as a fact, because people see their beliefs as fact. If Carlos Tevez believed that Man United were the best team in the world, where Jose Mourinho believed that Chelsea were the best team in the world, okay, they both believe that this was fact, but it's just merely an opinion. So you need to look for cues in your language, and you can start catching yourself. After today, you can start catching yourself and recorrecting yourself. So start looking for how you're speaking to yourself and how you're speaking to others. And do this by listening out for limiting belief statements. So, I can't do X because of Y. I'm not good, smart, or fit enough. I don't believe I can. I don't believe I should. I don't believe I will. I don't deserve. People will never buy from me. No one likes to be sold to. I don't need anyone. It's not my fault. I will probably fail. Every single one of those are limiting beliefs. So, like, it's easy to say, you know, I would consider myself relatively fit, but if I was, say, with an elite group of athletes, oh, I can't do that, I'm not fit enough. Well, actually, I am fit enough because I train every single day. I'm just not a full-time athlete, so I can, like, keep up. You know what I mean? So it's important to catch yourself. So we'll go into a couple of examples and see how we can change and break the cycle. So you want to tackle these limiting beliefs one at a time. So you get yourself to decide which one is holding you back the most. So by doing that is listing out all your limiting beliefs, but finding out what is the biggest limiting belief. Because if you can knock over the big domino, all the small dominoes will fall, rather than trying to break out all the small ones and then going for the big one at the end. So an example I'll use here, and then I'll tell you a story about a client of mine. So I can't build a business because I'm not smart enough. So you want to, if this is your limiting belief, then you want to run through the two techniques that I'm going to share with you today. That will challenge you to question the foundations in which this belief has been formed. Where does it come from? And then you take action. Everything that's worthwhile doing needs action. You need to take action towards anything that you want to do. I think I can't think of the quote at the minute, but I think it's an ounce of action is worth more than a ton of talking about it, or something along those lines. So take action to prove that the limiting belief is not the undisputed fact that you believe it to be, and allow yourself to break the cycle. Once you can put doubt into the limiting belief, the foundation will start to crack, and it'll crack really, really quickly. So there are many more ways. I'm hoping to show you an extra way, except the two that I'm going to go through, to break down limiting beliefs. But these are two techniques that are a great place to start. And hopefully the resources that I send on after will also be a help to anyone who's struggling with some limiting beliefs. And someone might here on the call might be really aware of a limiting belief right now. But someone may think that they don't have a limiting belief. And it's only when you do a bit of reflection and see why you're not succeeding in a certain area of your life that you'll realize that there is a certain limiting belief holding you back from taking action to going towards that. So technique one is the challenge. By challenging yourself, you're trying to break apart the belief and allow yourself to start questioning yourself as to where it came from. At the minute, you believe these limiting beliefs are built on a strong foundation of truth, but it could be just the fact that someone told you, don't do that at one stage in your life. Maybe a boss said to you, you sit down because you're not going to deliver. You're not good at speaking here. Like maybe someone said something out of being in a bad mood, but your filter took that in as, geez, I'm not good at speaking. And maybe you're the best speaker in the room, but that limiting belief then has crippled you or held you back from being the best speaker you can be for years. So it's my job to help you to challenge this truth and therefore weaken the foundation in which they are built. A lot of the time we believe something just because that's the way it is. Okay. And this is kind of limiting beliefs again, it's going back generations. You know, if you think, I imagine from my own experience, if you think of a parent, an uncle, a family member that has come before you, and if you ask them as a child, why are we doing this? That's just the way it is. That's where our limiting beliefs come from. So we don't question that. As a child, we don't question that. That's just the way it is. So through your coaching questions that I'll share with you, we're going to get more details around the beliefs so that you have more awareness around the beliefs. So technique one, the challenge. Through the awareness, you'll have the power to decide whether the belief is empowering, is it helping you, or is it limiting you? And now you're aware it's not a fact and merely an opinion. You'll then have the choice to decide whether or not you choose to hang on to it or not. So if it's empowering, like I am a good friend, you hold on to it. I'm not fit, you let go of it, you challenge it and you break it down. So here are some samples that, for example, that I'm starting a business, but I'm not smart enough. Who told you that you aren't smart enough? Go back on that. How smart is smart enough? I've heard people with master's degrees from college saying they're not smart enough. How did they get into college, finish a 4-year college degree, and then do another 4 years as a master's, and now going on to be a PhD, but they're not smart enough? Who determines what smart is? Oh, sorry, someone coming in there. Okay, sorry. Has anyone ever built a business who wasn't considered smart? What's the smartest thing you've ever done? What attributes do you have which could build a business? And what is untrue about what you've just said? So if you go back, for example, I was working with someone there who their limiting belief was exactly that. I'm not smart enough. They were doing a course. They were actually doing a master's at the time. And they said that they would not be able, I can't do a master's because no one else in my family had done a master's. That was the first limiting belief, that they couldn't retain the information. And when I asked them what was the biggest domino, it was, I'm not smart enough. So we went through similar questions like this, like, what's the smartest thing you've ever done? Or all these questions and questions that you will have in the resources. And it turns out that this particular person was also a singer. So the complaint that he had was that he couldn't take on notes, he couldn't retain information. So the limiting belief that he took from this is that he's not smart enough. So it turns out that he's a musician that plays gigs 4 nights a week with sets to 20 to 30 songs. So I asked him, do you have the songs in front of you on an iPad, on paper? He's like, no. I just remembered the songs. I was like, okay, well, if you just remember the songs, that means you can retain information and you're smart enough to hold on to hundreds of songs in your head without having any iPads or any paper in front of you. So in my book, that's really, really smart. And he started to realize, Jesus, yeah, that he had a formula. So each one of us have a formula that can break down a limiting belief. For example, that one, I'm not smart enough. So I got him to list the areas of where he was smart. How the formula was for the songs was that he sat down, he would read the song 2 or 3 times and maybe write it out. And by doing that, it was stuck in his head. So moving forward, all he did with his master's notes was he wrote down the notes 2 or 3 times and read it 2 or 3 times, and it was stuck in his head. So he went from not being smart enough to using where he is smart, using the formula that he has to be smart and just putting it into that other area of his life. So this goes for everything. Like if you're, I was talking to a fella last night who said, yeah, I'm confident at work, but I'm not confident at home. He said he's not a confident person. In reality, he's not a confident person. I was like, well, work is reality. Work is real life. What formula do you have at work? You need to use that then at home. And he realized his formula. So we all have a formula that works for us, but we just don't bring our awareness to it to use it in areas of our life that needs it the most. So technique number 2 is the belief cycle. So you can see here we have potential, action, results, and belief. So the amount of potential you think you have will determine how much action you take. The amount of action you take will determine what results you get. And the results you get will determine the belief you have in yourself. And the level of belief you have in yourself determines how much potential you think you have. And the cycle continues. And probably more than a cycle, I like to see it more as a spiral, because once you start, it just spirals up and up and up. So this will give an example. So I'll just go back and give an example. So someone who's maybe struggling to do a 5K, and I can't do a 5K, limiting belief, I can't do a 5K. Okay, what's my potential of doing a 5K? Okay, right, well, I can walk. And one day you go for a walk and okay, that was easy, I could walk 5K. So you took action. So you did your 5K, so you got the results. Now you believe, okay, well, actually I could run 500 meters of that. So the next day, that's your potential's gone up. So the next day, the action you take, you ran 500 meters and you walk the rest. So you got the results. Well, that was easy. I believe more now. Well, tomorrow I can run 1K. So my potential, I think I have, goes up. So I'm going to take more action. And so I'm going to get better results, better belief, more potential, action, belief, and it just goes around and around and around. So whatever potential you think you have, the most important step is taking action, because once you take proper action, you'll get a result which will benefit your belief, which will make you believe that you have more potential and taking more action. So back to I can't build a business because I'm not smart enough. If this is what you believe, you're not going to take much action towards that task. So, and this is where the cycle begins. If you want to break this cycle of limitation and start to create a cycle of empowerment, you must first start to weaken the limiting belief with technique number 1. Who told you you're not smart enough? How smart is smart? Am I smart in any other areas? Because the challenge here is not starting to build a business. The challenge here is the limiting belief that I'm not smart enough. So once you realize, actually, I'm smart because I did my master's, so I can start learning how to build a business. I can start doing that. So building the business is not the problem. I'm not smart enough is the problem. So doing this will start to challenge your existing belief and start to increase our belief in ourselves, and therefore increase the potential you think you have. So once you realize that you are smart, you'll go, okay, I can watch a YouTube video to start a business. I can talk to a friend who starts a business. I can enroll myself in a course who starts a business. So once you erase the limiting belief, you can actually go and start that business. So with the increased level of potential, encourage yourself to take action towards your goal. You will then receive better results. So by watching the YouTube video, you'll be like, that seems easy. By doing the college course, yeah, I have the tools. and that will create a new positive information around you that my limiting belief was a load of rubbish. Therefore, what else can I do? Okay, you're taking the ceiling off. Where else can I go from here? And B, I can actually do this. Therefore, I'm going to try even harder now. A lot of people who think they can't do the 5K, if push came to shove, they could do the 5K. And a lot of these techniques as well, the reframing, the fears, the limiting beliefs, you need to try and associate or marry as much emotion as you can to that. And, if someone told me that they can't run 5K, that's a limiting belief. Okay, maybe they're not fit enough, but they can get through 5K. If I took a gun and put it to their loved one's head and told them to run a 5K, the emotion of me doing that, they would run a 5K every day of the week to save their loved ones' lives. So that's the power of attaching emotion to anything that you want to do, any goals that you want to set, any limiting beliefs you want to destroy, any fears, anything at all. If you can attach a much strong emotion to it, it just becomes a lot more easier to work towards and to achieve. So step by step with those techniques is step one, listen out for your limiting beliefs, highlight the limiting beliefs and pick out the main one. So make a list and pick out the main one that keeps coming up, challenge it. Who told me this? Like, is it untrue? Is it bullshit? Whatever you think it is, challenge it, completely shatter the foundation, and then encourage yourself to act towards your goal. Taking action is the most important thing you'll ever do, which will start that positive belief cycle. And as we showed, once you start on that cycle, there's no getting off that loop. Once you take action, there's no getting off that loop. So I'm going to, I'll go into the Dickens process, or before we go into the Dickens process. So like I said at the beginning, like limiting beliefs are only what we perceive as a fact, but they're only strongly held opinions. So this is an exercise that you can do on your own, and it actually genuinely works, and you have to do it a couple of times repeatedly. If you think you have a limiting belief about something, stick your 2 fingers up your nose and say that limiting belief out loud. So I apologize if this doesn't look too professional, but I'm not smart enough sounds very serious. Sounds that inner critic is like being very, standing over you with that limiting belief. But you need to take away the credibility. So, for example, I'm not smart enough. It just sounds absolutely ridiculous. You can laugh at the limiting belief. You're flicking the inner critic away. You're laughing at him. He'll have to go back to his hole. Okay. And once you do that, if you, for example, stick your fingers up your nose and make it sound silly, take your fingers out of your nose and say, yeah, that sounds absolutely ridiculous. And then say your new empowering belief, I am smart enough, and back it up with a reason why. So if you put it up like, I'm not smart enough, that sounds absolutely ridiculous. I am smart enough because I went to college, or I read books, I listen to podcasts. I am smart enough. So the inner critic sounds silly and stupid. You broke his foundation while you're strengthening the foundation of your inner champion by doing that. And as silly as it may sound, it is a really powerful way to do it, but you'd have to do it 3 or 4 times to really laugh at that inner critic. So the last process we'll go through is the Dickens process, and it's based on the character named Scrooge from the Charlie Dickens novel, A Christmas Carol. So Mr. Scrooge, who meets a ghost on Christmas morning, is shown how his future could be if he doesn't change his current bad behavior and limiting beliefs. So this causes so much pain for Scrooge that he decides to change his life forever. So again, you have to put that negative emotion towards it. If I change these limiting beliefs and I take action, what will my life look like in 12 months? How will I be affecting the people around me? What will my body look like? How will my mind look like? How will I feel? How will I be standing? How will the people around me be feeling because of the action that I've taken? But then you can also go forward 12 months. Okay, I didn't take action. I didn't implement any of this. And I'm either in the same place I am today or in a worse position. How are you feeling? How are you looking physically, mentally? How are you able to help the people around you, your family, your friends? So if you can tie enough emotion with it, you will be more inclined. The percentage of you taking action towards something and getting on that belief cycle is a lot more higher. So the Dickens process here is an example of the worksheet for the Dickens process. So identify 3 limiting beliefs that have been producing unwanted or negative consequences in your life. So write down belief number 1. What negative consequences have you already experienced as a result? For example, I am a smoker and I can't really keep up with football or in the gym because I'm always out of breath. So you write down 3 limiting beliefs that you have and the negative consequence that it has. Maybe I'm not confident enough to speak in front of a group. Okay, well, negative consequence, I stopped going out with my friends because of this. So whatever negative consequence, write it down, make it real, bring your awareness to it. And the next one's the empowering beliefs. Write down each of the limiting beliefs again. That's meant to say old limiting beliefs again, and literally cross it out with a pen and quickly write your new empowering belief. So crossing it out with a pen is the same thing as sticking your fingers up your nose. Crossing it out with a pen is absolutely destroying it in your subconscious, and writing down that new limiting belief and saying it over and over strengthens the foundation. So I think the last time we did the serenity prayer. So here I found another one that is related to limiting beliefs. It's something you could put in your journal or have on your phone or something to remind yourself anytime any limiting beliefs are coming up. So I am the voice. I will lead, not follow. I will believe, not doubt. I will create, not destroy. I am a force of good. I am a leader. Defy the odds, set a new standard, and step up. And that in a nutshell is just taking action to be a better version of you. And once you take action again, that cycle is going to grow and grow and grow. So not all limiting beliefs are good. We all have beliefs that limit us and hold us back. They're called limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are the number one reason why we struggle to see results in our life. They can be changed no matter how strong you think your beliefs are. Challenging and encouraging yourself to challenge, to take action, to create a new belief cycle will start to eliminate these limiting beliefs for you and start to create new empowering beliefs that will allow you to move effortlessly towards your goals. So what limiting beliefs do you have? What empowering beliefs could you create? So it's completely in your hands, limiting or empowered. You decide if you want to implement them. Now, so thanks for listening. Now, I know that is the presentation finished, but I think with the Dickens model, I would like to go in, if we have time, Amanda, to kind of go into a little bit more depth on that, if you're up for that. Yes, no? Yeah, okay. Right, so I'll just quickly run through the Dickens model.
I was muted.
I'll just quickly run through the Dickens model here, or the Dickens process, just to give you a better insight for when you have the resources or whatever. So is my screen shared now? No? Okay, I was thinking it's fine. It's just these are just a couple of my views on the Dickens process. So I mentioned the NLP thing that you can do with your partner in the car. Like, okay, you have 10 seconds, count how many red cars you can see, and they'll be looking for it. And 10, 2, 1. Okay, how many blue cars did you see? They'll not be able to give you a number. So like, I'm a big fan of NLP. It's neuro-linguistic programming. And this is where the Dickens process comes from. So it's a process that's been popularized by Tony Robbins, and it's been also highlighted in Tim Ferriss's book, The Tools of Titans. It's a really thick book, and it's just a very good, like, NLP is a very good approach to personal development and communication with colleagues or partners. Anyone who would be interested in that, I would highly recommend maybe getting to know NLP a little bit better. So we know that the Dickens process is about Mr. Scrooge, who, if he didn't change his behavior and his limiting beliefs, that his future self would be in so much pain for the rest of his life. So the process uses like the conscious mind in order to make you visualize possible future paths and attach real feelings to the process. So think about standing in front of a pathway with a left side leading one direction, the way you're currently going, and what you don't change your current bad behavior. And I'll use this the example of smoking. And then the right side to your future self, if you would change your current bad behavior. So the right path shows you that you have the right path shows you how your life will change positively for you, affecting all the people around you. So to give an example, think about any current bad behavior, and I'm going to stick with smoking for this one. So this could be smoking a lot, not working out, drinking too much alcohol, or not taking care of what you eat, or not treating people that you love around you well. So in the Dickens process, you are forced to examine limiting beliefs in your life. Why do people still continue to smoke when they know exactly what it will at one point in time in the future damage their own health? So if you take the left path, meaning to continue your bad habits, how will your future change in 3 and then 5 years from now if you continue on that path? How are you going to tell your children that you have to leave them because you smoke too much, that you might have cancer or you're really sick? How does this affect your professional life? Can you imagine how you got fired because of the fact that your bad health keeps you from working efficiently, that you're always calling in sick, you have to go to the doctor, and concentrated that you can't deliver anymore? So see this future, feel the future, heal the future, hear the future, and feel the pain associated with all these happenings if you don't change these bad habits. And like by feel it, hear it, see it, like really visualize that. How would it feel if I have to tell someone I love that? Like, how would you hear your boss telling you that, and how would that feel? Like, how would your hands feel? What would your environment look like? Like, really associate the emotions with it. So then you take the right path and you continue without that limiting belief. You break down that limiting belief and you leave it behind. How would your life have changed if you quit smoking or drinking? Imagine the best possible version of yourself, and how you live many years with your children, grandchildren, fit and healthy, being able to do all the activities, thriving in your job. Think about like you're getting promoted in your business life, and you become a role model for your colleagues, for the people that you love. You're there for your friends. See that future, feel that future, hear the future, like feel the joy and happiness attached to that positive future. And then travel back in time again to the pathway where you first started. So you've experienced both versions of yourself and felt the pain and felt the joy. Think about the consequences of both versions. And after you feel the acute pain of the current handicapping beliefs, the limiting beliefs, you formulate 2 to 3 replacement beliefs to use moving forward. So instead of saying, well, I smoked for years and nothing happened, replace that with your new belief. I'm a non-smoker, and this is why I believe I should be living a happier or healthier life, or whatever it may be. So when you're confronted with this kind of vivid and painful imagery, you will no longer accept the destructive way you're living your life just because nothing has happened now. I remember there was an article with Jeff Bezos, and he was asked about how he made all the decisions in his business and why he's so successful. He said that when it comes to his decisions, he made up his mind by projecting it like forward to the age of 80. From there, he said he would take the path that minimized his regrets, which would often make the correct choice obvious for him, which I thought was pretty cool. So when you take the left path, ask yourself the following questions. What would be the cost of your limiting beliefs or bad habits if you wouldn't change them? How could you possibly hurt the people you love in the future? And how will this affect your future business life, work life, social life? And then take the right path and ask yourself the following questions. What are your new empowering patterns, beliefs, habits? How will your life, career, social life evolve? How will your personal life change for the good? So the Dickens process is a tool that can be life-changing by applying it, and like it's transformed thousands, the hundreds of thousands of lives already. Like I know Tony Robbins sees 200,000 people a year, and it's so powerful because of the fact that you can experience your future self, feel the pain involved in it, and decide based on your new wisdom how to change it. So that's why I wanted to explain more on the Dickens process, but that's everything from me, and I'll be passing on resources, the PDF of this this webinar and everything else to Amanda to share with everyone.
That is so great. Thank you so much for that, Jonathan. And I in particular picked this topic because I know, and especially with the majority of the females that I have here, that there is huge limiting beliefs within. Look, they're within everybody. You said that, and we know that. But it's about how do we tackle that, and kind of trying to realize that it is within our control, that we have the power to change those things. And I hope that everybody got as much as I did from that topic talk, because it is something really, really powerful and exciting, to realize that we have the power to do this. So yeah, looking forward to getting those resources from you as well, Jonathan. That would be great, so that I can pass them on and do some homework with the ladies involved.
And just on the resources, like a big thing that I hear, a big objection I hear coming up again and again and again. Yeah, I know how to do that. I know how to do that workout in the gym. I say it myself. Yeah, I have a diet. I know how to go to the gym, but I still don't have a six pack. If you're not implementing it, you don't know it. Even if you know the theory, if you're not implementing it, you don't know it. So taking action is my biggest pillar. If you're not taking action, you're going to go nowhere. Like, so just take action towards it, and it's going to have massive. The smallest amount of action has the biggest amount of potential to change things.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Jonathan, thank you so much for coming on this morning. I have that recorded for everybody anyway, for those who didn't get to jump on. Does anybody have any questions or anything for Jonathan before we finish up? I don't know if there's anything in particular that anybody has. I hope I don't put you on the spot now and someone asks you an absolute shit question. Guys, we all good? Okay, well, thank you so much, Jonathan, for coming on, and have a lovely day over there in sunny Dubai. Guys, thank you all so much for coming on and listening. And I will be doing some homework with you all on those limits and beliefs, because I really, really want to get the point across that this is within our control.
And just like, I know myself, it's like a job interview. They ask, do you have any questions? And more often than not, you don't until you're in your car on the way home. So if anyone does have questions, just to share it with Amanda, and then she can share it with me, and we can go from there.
Brilliant. Jonathan, thank you so much. Thank you,
No worries.
everybody. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.
See you later.